Okay, I think we are live again. I'm sorry for everything that's gone on. It's been really sucky. Let me make sure this works. I was just about to go live on my phone if it wasn't working. Let's see how bad it is. It might be really bad, guys. I don't know. I'm sorry about it. We're gonna get into the market open in a second. I really can't control what's going on right now. It really sucks. I am super, super sorry. I think it's this crypto thing is like a sign that everything else is just getting screwed up. Okay, it's better. It's good for now. Let me know if the stream sucks. We're going to get right into the market open. Yeah, it's just a mess today. Everything is a mess. So here we go. Market will be open. We're going to do the bell. It's 9:30. Let's get right into it. Talk about a crappy morning, man. Oh my goodness. I know some of you are having a tough morning, just like I'm having a tough morning, but we should be back. Shouldn't be too bad. You're good now. All right, let's hope it stays good. So let's get into some of the stocks. Let's see what's going on, and then we'll talk about everything that's going on with crypto. Palantir, 788. All right, we're down 5%. That's pretty bad right now. Tesla is down 3%, 678. Tesla owns about they have about $800 million of Bitcoin at $30,000. They are losing around $200 million right now on their Bitcoin, given the price action that's going on with Bitcoin. So that's not good right now for Tesla. Let's see what else is going on. Amazon down another 4%. Enphase down 5%. Zoom, Cathie Wood's largest stock, down 4%. So let's go into the SPY S&P 500. This is the big one. So we're at 380. Finally, some friends to watch the world burn down with. Oh, I'm not on the main area. I'm sorry, I'm not on the main area. S&P 500, $380, or 3,800. It is pretty rough for the S&P 500, and the reason it's rough for the S&P 500 is because the futures last night also indicated how rough it would be for the S&P 500. If you were following the futures last night, they basically collapsed. I mean, the S&P was at 385 last night from a high of like 410. Well, it went down to 390 on Friday, so yeah, it went down another percent. Look, there is a lot of news that the S&P has a lot more room to fall, primarily down to the 3,100, 3,200 range if things continue. I don't think that's necessarily fear-mongering. I do think that is a big possibility if the trend continues to go the way it's going. But today's the top story of the day is Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is what we have to talk about. Let me tweet out that I'm live right now since I screwed up the market open, or I guess my thing, or YouTube screwed it up, live market open. It was weird. It's like the software was just like, can't connect to Google API. And I was like, what? You've never had this problem before. Bitcoin. So what happened with Bitcoin is Celsius Network is a crypto lending trading firm. You put your money into Celsius Network, and essentially they use your money and they give you a significantly high interest rates back on it. In some cases, 20%. You're not getting 20% in most places. You're barely getting 6 to 7%. And as a result of that, they take your money and then they do a lot of funny stuff with that money. Well, they were being a little bit more aggressive with their money than they should have been, which is what some of these crypto lending firms have known to do. Now, some of them are good, like FTX, Coinbase, BlockFi. They're like a little bit more conservative, 5 to 6% return on your money, which is still pretty decent because it's not easy to get 5 to 6% kind of guaranteed return on your money with minimal risk. But Celsius was not one of those firms. As a result of that, when they pause withdrawals, and let's go to their Twitter account real quick so you guys can kind of see that happen in real time. So we have Celsius right here, Celsius Network. They pause withdrawals. Look at their bio. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, 18866 HODL now. So they're really into this thing. Where is their tweet last night? Celsius Network is pausing all withdrawals, swap, and transfers between accounts. Acting in the interest of our community is our top priority. Our operations continue, and we will continue to share information with the community. That was the argument made by Celsius Network. As a result of that is led a lot of people in the crypto community to realize, well, shoot, if we can't, do anything with our Bitcoin on Celsius Network, we might as well liquidate. We might as well get rid of it, especially if one of the biggest firms is now doing this. Another big firm that you guys might know of called Binance also has just paused withdrawals. This literally happened this morning, 1 hour ago. Temporary pause on Bitcoin withdrawals on Binance due to a stuck transaction causing a backlog. That means you cannot withdraw your Bitcoin on Binance. When that happens, A lot of people, it's very similar to like the Robinhood situation where you couldn't sell GameStop or AMC. Why? Because they had like clearinghouses. They didn't have the money. You couldn't liquidate. They wouldn't be able to complete the infrastructure for the transaction. Kind of same thing going on with Bitcoin. And the CEO says, likely this is going to take a bit longer to fix than my initial estimate. More updates soon. Thank you for your patience and understanding. So that's what's happening. There was no Friday night Palantir talk. I guess we all needed a break. Yeah, I mean, some of the co-hosts, they needed a break as well. We will be back this Friday, or probably, this Friday night, maybe Saturday night. We'll give you guys a really long episode talking about it. I think all of us were just tired, to be honest. Needed a little bit of break from it. But, we took a break, and then, over the weekend, crypto just crashes. I mean, this is insane. Like, to see Bitcoin crash this badly, the last time I saw it crash this badly was when I was in college, and it had that run-up. Let's go to the max chart here. Right here in 2018, it went up to 19,000. I remember being in college class and my macroeconomics professor was like, Bitcoin is useless. It's like, there's no value in this. It's like, this is stupid. This is so dumb. And, then it crashed down to the 3,000s. And I mean, this crash isn't as bad, 19 to 3, but 30 to 23 is like pretty bad given Bitcoin has stabilized over a long time. Can we get a late ball for your cousin's sake? I did do the bell in the morning. Rewind the video all the way to the beginning. I did do a little bit of the bell, so my cousin still is probably annoyed. Definitely happening. On the bright side, that crypto bag is getting lighter by the day. Yeah, things are rough right now, man. So let's go. So that's Bitcoin. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is also just absolutely demolished. I mean, and so a lot of people were asking me, over the past couple of months, why aren't you buying crypto? Why aren't you buying Coinbase? And my argument was very simple. It's too volatile. Coinbase down 13%. It's too volatile. It's too, and again, I didn't even give my whole thesis on like, oh, Bitcoin's not useful. Because I think there is a lot of utility with crypto, and you would be really silly to just dismiss all of this technology as like it's nothing. My thesis for not buying was it's really volatile. And in this market where I'm already down like thousands of dollars, why would I want to put my money into something that's even more volatile? It doesn't make any sense. So I think a lot of the things that we've been exposed about cryptos and Ethereum and blockchains are just like, there are these schemes where you put money into something, you borrow against it, you make more money out of thin air kind of stuff. And like, this stuff is unsustainable, right? It's the nature of human history. This stuff just doesn't follow on for a long time. Along with the fact that I never liked that the decentralized network is held on centralized exchange. I never liked that. I never understood that. And so, Kathy's thesis on Coinbase and making it the biggest part of her fund, it's like a thesis on Bitcoin. So if she's wrong on crypto, then the whole fund collapses in the context of at least the crypto portion of it. But anyone who believes in Coinbase has to believe in some of these networks. Now, Ethereum is the interesting one. Let's go to Ethereum right now. The reason Ethereum is so interesting, and I did have Ethereum. I sold it at 3,700. I did have I would say like $4 or $5 grand of it. So I made like a decent $700 profit. But the reason Ethereum is so unique is because people can build on top of it, right? It's a network where there's layers on top of it. You can build things. You can stake your coins on that network. You can build all these tokens. So it's like cool, but like at the end of the day, if there's a recession and people start liquidating. People don't care, right? People don't care anymore. Had a conversation last week about crypto trading between detrimental to its growth and usage. No one wants to buy a cup of coffee if they might find out that it might cost them $500 in 2023. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very, very good point as well. So that we'll get back into some of the crypto markets. Inflation. I know I didn't do a Friday morning live stream. I just wasn't able to make it Friday morning. It has hit 8.6%. I did do a video about it. So if anyone saw that, they'll see that video. And so let's go to inflation, CNBC. Inflation did hit 8.6%. Now, oil prices are up to, give me 1 second. Oil prices are up to $5 a gallon nationally, and I feel it in New Jersey. They're teasing us. They're making it $4.99, and they're acting like it's not a big deal. It's like, bro, just put it to $5. Like, end of the misery. We know it's going to $5, and when they shoot it to $5, it's gonna be like $5.13 or some crazy stuff like that, right? They're just gonna hit us with that. So that's kind of what's going on there. Now, crypto inflation rose 8.6% in May, highest since 1981. This was pretty bad. Obviously, surging food and gas prices, energy all contributed to the gain, with fuel oil up 106.7%. This is particularly bad because inflation rose month over month when it deaccelerated month over month from April to May. Now, the deacceleration was very minimal. It wasn't like it was some crazy deacceleration, but it was at least positive. And over the last month, it has not been positive. Inflation just increased, right? So on a monthly basis, headline CPI was up 1%, while core rose 0.6%, compared with respective estimates of 0.7, 0.5. So we rose decently above the estimates. Energy prices broadly rose 3.9%, bringing the annual gain to 34.6%, which is begging the question, should the Fed ultimately do what they need to do, which is raise interest rates? And we talked about this today on Money Talks. You know, the question is it time for the Fed to really be like, you know what, 50 basis points is not enough. We've got to do 75. We've got to do 100. Kind of the Bill Ackman take of ripping the Band-Aid off of the wound and just like moving forward, right? Like getting into surgery and dealing with the actual issue. And the problem is every time the Fed raises interest rates up 1%, it adds another $300 billion of money we have to pay against the U.S. national debt, because the interest rates are what determine how much we pay against the U.S. national debt. We're barely fulfilling our debt payments as of now. So the only thing we can do is either reduce spending, which is hard to do with the government spending. We have to stop printing money, which is also very hard to do. Or we have to reduce massive amounts of regulation to allow the economy to flourish, which is also going to be hard. Or you could crash demand, but like crashing demand means that you have to take a lot of measures to cause a recession. I mean, like that's the only way you're going to do it. And no one wants to cause a recession, right? So we're in a really big pickle right now, and we're seeing what's happening. Let's go to Palantir. Let's see what's going on with Palantir. 785 Palantir. Yeah, I mean, look, I've said for the past couple of weeks, I think Palantir should be at $4 or $5. I mean, like it's just inevitable. If S&P crashes, and that's why I'm kind of saying like I want the S&P to just do it, like kind of just like, all right, go ahead, go down, and let's deal with you later, and you know we'll keep going from there. But yeah, it is obviously rough for that. Coinbase down below $50. If the S&P, oh wow, this is the first time we're hitting below 380. Is this the first time? Is this the first time we're hitting below 380 S&P? Because if the S&P is finally going there, then we're going there. I think this is the first time. Tell me this. Let's do 3 months. Yeah, this is the first time. There we go. That requires a tweet. That requires a tweet. Tweet. SPY finally below 380 after months of playing with it. Wow. S&P is down below 380. There it is. That's it right there. This seems like an opportunity to buy crypto, peak fear. Look, I don't know. I mean, you could say it's peak fear. You could also say there's some liquidation happening. Tesla down 5%, basically 667. Tesla's got a long way to go if the S&P hits 3,400. Let me show you guys this tweet yesterday with Carl Quintina, the CNBC guy. Hold on, let me see this. By the way, Squid Games is coming back for season 2, so hopefully that lets us that helps us feel a little bit better. We're gonna have to be playing in some Squid Game. I don't know about you, but we're gonna have to be playing with our lives to live. This guy had a good tweet about Goldman Sachs. Here we go, right here. So Goldman, if the EPS estimate moves to 225 halfway to the recession scenario of 200. A 14x price to earnings would bring the S&P 500 to 3150. So if you look at this chart right here, 2023 earnings per share scenario, forward PE at, assuming we end the year end 2022, assuming halfway revision from the recession, a median recession would be at 200. We would be at 3150, 14 times earnings. So 3150 is kind of the bottom that Goldman Sachs is calling, and that would be like a reasonable place to say it's the bottom. Which means if we're over here at 380, this is not the bottom. It's just objectively, it's like maybe it's the bottom if like there's some random rally that happens. But you got to realize there is no catalyst. Inflation sucks. And it's not getting better. Supply chains might be getting better. Inventories might be getting better. But inflation, if it's not going down, then, you know, those macroeconomic effects of supply chains making inflation go down, I think will take months to see. And in the meantime, it's not going to be pretty. It's not really going to be like that. This is all good for younger people. Anyone wanting to retire or soon in a year won't be easy. Yeah, I mean, if you are in your, I don't know, if you're like at 60 or 70, it's a little bit tough right now seeing what's going on. But if you're, 30s, 40s, I mean, if you have the next 30 years of time to work, essentially, if you're going to be working for the next 30 years and trying to have an income, I mean, you don't have to worry about this for a long time. I mean, buying Amazon at 106, even NEO at 16 if electric vehicles really take off, and NEO is a winner. Apple at 130. I mean, like, if you're going to be around for the next 30, 40 years, these are buying opportunities. The problem is, like, is it still a great buying opportunity? Because if Goldman Sachs sees S&P at 3150, like 380 is not a good buy objective. I mean, yes, you could dollar cost average, sure, I understand that. It's still a question of just like, do you want to put it in right now? Bitcoin will drop below 21K. Market movers want to liquidate MicroStrategy is what I've heard. So MicroStrategy, for those who don't know, this guy named Michael Saylor, by the way, his stock is down 23% today. He's the CEO of a company called MicroStrategy, and his company owns 130,000 Bitcoin. Now, a lot of that Bitcoin they have on margin. Okay, so they have admitted that, look at him, in Bitcoin we trust. That is his latest tweet. They have admitted that if Bitcoin, their CFO said if Bitcoin gets to 21,000, they will get margin called. They will start to have to put up collateral in order for their margin to get to be dealt with, because they bought a lot of Bitcoin on margin. So, I mean, this is not this is not good news for Michael Saylor. He is literally $2,700 away from having a very, very bad margin call, and that's obviously not going to be good in general for Bitcoin as well, because if Saylor gets margin called, this guy owns a lot of Bitcoin. El Salvador as well has an average Bitcoin. Let's go to their Twitter account, see what they're saying. El Salvador, because they were tweeting very happily the other day that when Bitcoin was at 31,000, they were tweeting very happily that, hey, our average is under 31,000. It's like, my guy, like, what do you, like, are you serious, bro? Like, look at this right here. El Salvador just bought the dip. Who is this guy? This guy's what? The El Presidente of El Salvador. Okay. 500 coins at an average USD price of 30,744. Well then. Welp. Like, I don't get how you're the president of a country saying this stuff, man. Like, it's this is taxpayer dollars, by the way. They're buying this Bitcoin. Look at his profile pic. I mean, this is irresponsible. At some level, this is just irresponsible. And now, I mean, you're down a lot of money. It's down a lot. It is down a lot. MicroStrategies use their Bitcoin as collateral to take out loans to buy more Bitcoin, which is insane, bro. So, like, MicroStrategy, obviously, they're going to be in the hole for a lot if Bitcoin drops. SPY 380, Coinbase is down 15%. Coinbase is going to... It's Coinbase. If you're in it and your average is high, you're in it for a while, because it doesn't seem like they have any path to kind of get out of this situation. Where is the QQQ? Well, first of all, let me go to NASDAQ. NASDAQ, I just saw it. Wow, NASDAQ is at 10 grand. Oh my goodness. NASDAQ at 10,000. NASDAQ below 11K. NASDAQ below 11K. Wow. Did not expect. I expected that, but like just seeing it, just like seeing Bitcoin down that much is crazy, right? And some of the growth stock, like look at Open Door and SoFi, they're not hit that badly, because like they're already hit, right? Palantir, I mean, it's down 5%, but it's already been hit. Like a lot of these stocks, I mean, Tesla has a long way to go if it keeps getting hit badly, but a lot of these stocks, they're kind of already hit. Like it's like it sucks, but it doesn't suck that bad. But if you're in some of these bigger names, like the NASDAQ, if you're owned oh my gosh. It was at 16 grand November 2021. And I think it has another 15% to go for it to be like a true recession, kind of 08 style in some respects. But goodness, it's that's a lot, man. NASDAQ under 11K. Why, if Saylor so bullish did he buy on margin? Over leverage is the destroyer of crypto. Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously they didn't have the money to buy more, so like that was the issue. Let's go to CNBC. Let's see what's going on with it. We definitely got to hear from them. I mean, they must be going crazy over this shit. CNBC. Let's just go there. Let's see. What's the most juiciest one to click on? Because it's probably pretty rough right now. Anthony Scaramucci explains why he bought more Bitcoin. Okay, let's watch this one. That one seems interesting. First of all, I'm forgetting who this guy is. He's the mayor of some place, right? Let me Google it really quickly so I know. He's the mayor of No, he's the American financier who served as the White House Director of Communications. Does he do anything right now? Okay, no, he's just an entrepreneur. All right, so let's hear from him.
Crypto lender Celsius announcing it's pausing all withdrawals. The controversial lending platform citing what they're calling extreme market conditions for its decision. The firm has seen its value of its assets drop by more than half since October, and its token Cell has now erased 97, I'm going to say it again, 97% of its value in the same time frame. Take a look at Bitcoin right now and some of the other cryptocurrencies because it is a bloodbath this morning. Bitcoin down now under 24,000. We're at $23,609. Ether coming down 20%. We're at $1,186. Join us right now to discuss it all. Anthony Scaramucci, Skybridge Capital founder and CNBC contributor. Anthony, it's good to see you. And I want to get your thoughts on a morning like this. It kind of feels like we are, I don't know if we're doing a full round trip, but we're getting close.
Oh, well, a full round trip on crypto or the overall market? I mean, I think both are in question right now because as you and I both know, interest rates going up, 1 to 2% rise in interest rates easily take 10 to 15% out of the market, Andrew. So everything's being impacted, but watching you guys this morning, it makes me think of March of 2000. Unfortunately, I'm old enough to remember that, where internet stocks were cratering. Many of the Web 1 stories went to zero, and then, of course, there were a few gems, things like Amazon, that went on to do very well. And I am encouraged by the fact that Bitcoin is above 50% of the overall crypto market cap right now, which is, again, another sign that there's a flight to quality there. Now, of course, Celsius is putting pressure on it the same way that the Luna Terra situation put pressure on it about 6 weeks ago. So we're in a bloodbath. This is my 8th bear market. I expect to survive this one as well. But I think it's just caution people to stay unlevered, but keep to your long-term investment discipline. Everybody has a long-term perspective until they have short-term losses, Andrew.
Right.
And then they start to set their hair on fire and run around in a circle. I would recommend people just stay disciplined. And like Joe, don't look at your 401k statement.
But Anthony, does staying disciplined mean buying on a day like today? Are you out there? I mean, you have been bullish on Bitcoin. If you're a true stacker, is this the time to stack?
Listen, I certainly think so. And with incremental cash that comes into our funds, we have bought more Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have a private stake in FTX. FTX is doing very well. It's gaining market share and is a profitable company. So, yes, I mean, the truth be told, people will look back on this debacle and say, I wish I had fresh cash to buy into that. Could it leg down some more? Certainly. We all know that whatever you think cannot happen on Wall Street likely does happen, and so we're ready for every scenario. But I think
Anthony,
the key thing is
internally when you say it could leg down,
Yeah.
to your partners, and you look at the risk reward, what's the low in your mind, and also what's the opportunity in your mind, short term?
Well, it would be impossible for me to predict the low, but if you were at Consensus last week in Austin and you saw all of the robust development that's going on in Web3 and you see the money that's being deployed, I think that the upside...
This isn't the best argument. He's just like, people are putting a lot of money into like crypto. Like, people put money into anything. Like, money going into something doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be successful. Like, there's a lot of investments going into a lot of shit that's just like look how much money Luna and that guy Da Quan raised, and like all of it went to zero. So it's like, just because, like, I don't like this argument. Like, just people are like, oh, crypto funds are like putting billions of dollars into all these startups that are like, it's like, okay, so like, they're making speculative bets. They're putting a lot of money in an industry where they think it can go up, but that doesn't mean it's going to go up.
Side is enormous. I still believe that Bitcoin can easily get to $100,000 a coin over the next 12 to 24 months, but you're going to have to settle out where the markets are. And listen, we could get better inflation data by the end of the year as the pandemic subsides and as the supply chain starts to get more connected, Andrew. So lots of bad news out there. Everybody I know, I was at the Yankee game yesterday, everybody I know is resoundingly bad.
All right. So, I mean, like, obviously it's not It's not going. So, I mean, the argument is just silly in my opinion. Just because there's a lot of money going into something does not mean that it's going to go up. He says 100K within the next 12 to 24 months. I mean, look, anything is possible, but some things are a lot harder to get to than other things. Let's just say that. It's not going to be easy for Bitcoin to get to $100,000. Like, let's say inflation magically goes down to 3%. Even then, it's not going to be easy. And if anything, you know, the whole idea of Bitcoin is that it's an inflationary hedge. It should be better than it should be better right now, given inflation is rough, because Bitcoin is a finite asset. There's only 21 million of them, right? So it's like less prone to inflation. I mean, literally, it should not be able to be inflated like a dollar. You can't print more Bitcoin. It should be theoretically, from a layman's perspective, going up in inflationary times. It should be the hedge. It is not the hedge. And I think the reason it's not the hedge is because, and again, I'm not a super crypto bear. I'm just like kind of making the argument here. The nature of buying this asset is so that you can sell it when it goes back up, right? It's like a lot of these tokens and these Web3 startups, if you've heard of them, the whole idea is let's buy in and let's sell when they go up. Well, then you're not really buying. There's no utility for buying them other than to speculate on when they go up, which is why it's not an inflation hedge. The reason you own gold is because there's an asset. Gold is an asset that is useful in some capacity, and you're willing to hold it across long periods of time because you know there's utility. There is zero utility to holding Bitcoin over long periods of time. I'm saying sort of the bearish argument here now, outside of the price going up, which means if you don't buy into the thesis that it's like the digital gold of the internet and there's use cases for it, and there's a lot of bull cases for that, right? But I think a far majority of people do not know those use cases as compared to gold, which is more obvious, like physical gold, which is why they speculate on it. And if it's all speculation, then it's going to crash when things are going bad, because the same people buying it are the same people buying growth stocks, and growth stocks crash as well. So, blockchain, right? Blockchain is the whole reason. Would you buy Bitcoin now? No, I'm not touching Bitcoin. Palantir 765. Yeah, Palantir is rough, but again, I've been saying Palantir $4 to $5, and I will load the boat when Palantir actually gets that low. People are like, you know, I made a video when Palantir was $9, and I'm like, I'm just not buying it right now because I don't see the catalyst. People are like, oh, you're trying to time the market. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm trying to time the market, but it's not like there comes a point where things are too obvious, where if you're not timing the market, you're kind of dumb. Like, it's not about like don't trust DCAing, or it's just like, why would you buy right now? It just makes zero sense. Like, just wait it out. And like, maybe that's a little bit of timing, sure, but like, if you have a lot of logic behind timing the market, it's okay to time sometimes, right? You don't have to be beholden to the quote of time in the market is better than timing the market. You know, when you're talking about like major, oh, I'm going to take all my portfolio out and then put all my portfolio back in, that type of time in the market, obviously it's a losing bet and it's hard to do that. But if you just don't want to buy a stock right now because you see no reason why it should be $9 when the entire, you know, world is burning, don't buy it. And like, that's an easy way to time. Bitcoin has utility. Ask the Central African Republic people and the El Salvador people if they enjoy the utility. Before Bitcoin, 80% of the country was unbanked. Yeah, that might be utility. It's just a question of, is buying it at 30,000 like El Salvador did the right price to buy it at? And also, is the utility enough? I mean, like, if that utility was enough, then why is it dropping this rapidly, right? Like, at some level, the utility has to keep it stable. So you have to ask the question, right? If it drops this rapidly, is it actually providing the type of stability and utility that other countries think of? Maybe it is. Maybe this is an overreaction. Obviously, we're going to see. But that's the question. Bro, why didn't you time the market in November? See, and that's why. See, I don't know how to time the markets. I know how to not buy some growth stocks right now, but I don't know how to time the market, right? Roku, oh my goodness. I didn't get to Roku. $76. Goodness gracious. Roku, the point is you can't time the market. No one has a crystal ball. Yeah, I agree. It's just at some level, you also should not be like, there was no reason to buy Bitcoin last week at 30 grand. And so to me, it's not timing the market to be like, I'm going to wait a little bit to buy Bitcoin last week. Like, I do not think that's timing the market, or if that is timing the market, it's the most elementary form of time. It's like, hey, this thing looks overvalued. I'm going to wait. That's not timing the market to me. That's just like using some common sense, like, quite frankly. Roku's at $76. Netflix at $172. QQQ's at $280. Not too good. Let's look at Wejo. Wejo's at $1.04. See, Wejo is down another 10%. It was down like 20% last week. So Wejo's, I love Wejo, but man, they're getting destroyed. Richard Barlow's probably like, what the fuck, man? Like, they're crazy. Maybe the military-industrial complex wants to kill Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't know if that conspiracy is true. I mean, maybe. I mean, shit, man, this is rough. Let's see what's going on the Twitter sphere. How bad are things? Let's see what Arnie said. US Treasury yield curve 2-year 3%, 10-year 3%. Okay. The Treasury yield is up. MicroStrategy down 27% pre-market. Bitcoin needs to cut in a half or around 21,000 before we'd have a margin call. So this is what the CFO said. So again, MicroStrategy, the reason people like buying their stock as well is because it's kind of like a reserve for Bitcoin. Also, I want to show this Dave Lee tweet. So if you bought MicroStrategy, you're kind of like indirectly buying Bitcoin, and you get more Bitcoin for your buck because they're buying more Bitcoin on margin. So it's kind of it's a cool way to kind of think of it. Here, Bitcoin at 25,000. Tesla will need an impairment loss in their Q2 2022 earnings when they report in July. Tesla holds roughly 42,000 Bitcoins at slightly under a $30,000 cost basis. Okay, so Tesla will take a $200 million impairment loss for Q2 as long as Bitcoin doesn't go lower from here. Bitcoin obviously has gotten lower from 25,000 as of last night when Dave Lee tweeted that. And we're going to look at the Chicken Genius video in a second because now Bitcoin is 23,000. Okay, so Q2 earnings. If Bitcoin drops to 20K by end of June, that would be another 200 million impairment loss. So a total of $400 million impairment loss Tesla would need to book for Q2 2022. Q2 already a tough quarter because of Shanghai shutdown. So the Shanghai shutdowns have obviously hurt Tesla dramatically because they weren't able to make as many cars because of the COVID stuff. They also own 42,000 Bitcoins on their balance sheet. They have about 30,000. So, Tesla is down closer to $350 million as an impairment loss, which means it's not like a real loss, but they kind of have to show it on their balance sheets. So Q2 can be a little rough for Tesla because when they show that loss, along with the fact that they're missing estimates on the cars because Shanghai, it's not going to be that pretty. So Tesla's at 659. You can imagine if that Q2 thing does not go well in July, if Tesla's still at this rate, it could hit a little bit rough. In March 2020, I was looking at Bitcoins thinking I should buy it at 4K. I've been smacking myself about it for a while, looks like, but now it's coming back. Oh boy. Yeah, man, if Bitcoin goes down to 4K, I mean, the entire cryptocurrency market cap right now is less than $1 trillion. And before, Bitcoin used to be 1.2 trillion by itself. And then the rest of the market added up to like a couple trillion. Now the entire market cap of crypto. And I think there's this website that covers it, like CoinDesk or something. No, this is a magazine for crypto. Bitcoin price. I think it should pop up. There's a really good website that covers this stuff. Where is it? CoinDesk. Oh, is this the right one? No. Damn, I forgot the CoinMarketCap. Here it is. Yes, CoinMarketCap. So the entire cryptocurrency market cap is down below trillion. So as you see Bitcoin, here we go. 451 million is their market cap right now. And if you double the price of 23,000, then you would have doubled it. It would have been about 800 million a while back. Ethereum is about 149 million. Tether, 72 million. Binance, 17. These are the top cryptos. Solana's down below $30. I remember Solana was at 240. People were buying Solana heavily. Solana is back. And Dogecoin. All right, we're going to go back. Let's watch the Chicken Genius video. Chicken Genius is, I don't know if he's back, but he made a small video. I haven't watched it yet. And then we'll go back into the coin market caps. The title is Stock Market Gonna Crash. It's a minute-long video. Let's watch it now.
Hey friends, it's been a while. I'm still here for you, and my advice remains the same since my last few videos before I quit. Stop buying. I know it's been hard and we have been brainwashed to keep buying the dip. Stop. The world is constantly revolving. Don't be stubborn or resistant to change. And it's my belief that a crash will come. I still share my moves actively on Twitter. If you don't follow, I'm short the market. Though I've quit YouTube, this video is not some comeback video, but I've been seeing a lot of stupid advisors. Oh god damn it. I'm still sharing my thoughts on Twitter. I'll link my Twitter below just in case because there's too much scammers. Anyway, WTF man, if anybody asks you for money and you give it to them, I don't care if it's who, it could be Brad Pitt. You have nobody but to blame but yourself. That's greed. I will never ask you for money because I do not need your money. I only do this out of the good of my heart. Anyway, take care, invest, save.
Okay. I don't really know what.
Are starting to feel.
All right. Well, I don't really know what to say to that. Well, we watched the video. For those who were saying in the chat, hey, do you want to watch the video? Well, we watched the video. I guess his argument was that, you know, we should be afraid of what's going on right now. Anyway, let's get back into this. So, coin market cap, Bitcoin, 451 billion. That's correct. It's billion, not million. So, this is what's going on right now, right? So, these are some of the top coins. Litecoin is up here. Uniswap is up here. Axie Infinity, I don't know if you guys remember that. It's like a little bit of a play-to-earn game. Their crypto has collapsed. $12.95. At one point, it was $157. This whole idea of play-to-earn. Like, the thing about what's going on in crypto is we're trying to create a new economic infrastructure for the internet. And the problem is when you try to create a new economic infrastructure, there's going to be a lot of growing pains to get there. Now, it's not like it can't happen, but, well, there is a chance that it's going to be really hard to make it happen, given there are some fundamental elements of the world that are hard to deny. And I watched a couple of videos on it this week. I'll probably make a video on it a little bit later. But as you can see, it's pretty rough, right? In the context of what's going on with crypto overall. So if Tesla has to take a $200 million loss on their crypto, probably $400 million if Bitcoin gets to 20K. And we'll see. Let's see if it can hold 23. Right now, it seems like there's zero support. And that's not going to be good for Tesla. I mean, this is not good. It's like if Palantir owned that much Bitcoin, that's like, this is one of those days where you got to thank goodness Palantir does not own Bitcoin. I mean, Palantir owns gold on their balance sheets, not Bitcoin. And that's probably good because it's better for them to own gold versus Bitcoin, given what's going on in this market. I mean, this is tough. He's short the market and is telling us to be scared. Okay, LOL. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the point of that video was for a minute long. He was like, I'm gonna give you advice. Don't buy stuff. And it's like it's a 1 minute long video. It doesn't really give a lot of analysis. So, yeah. I mean, if you follow him and you follow his advice, that's cool and all that stuff. I have nothing against him. It's just that video was a little it's just like abrupt. It really didn't give a lot of thoughts. So, Kathy is someone we got to go to ARK. We didn't talk about ARK innovation yet at all. ARK is at 37. Oh man, look at this market. Bitcoin just resembles the market at this point. An entire generation has just learned about FOMO the hard way if they haven't already. Yeah, that is true as well. That is 100% true as well. ARK is at $37, down 8%. Wow. Goodness gracious, down 8%. Down 8%. So ARK is feeling it right now. QQQ at 280, MicroStrategy 155, S&P 380, Amazon 105, Black Sky. This is one of Palantir SPACs, down 7%. Spotify down 98. ARK. Let's look at ARK's holdings actually. Let's see what they've got. They should be updated now. We can see how well it's actually going. I think the series Atlanta called it robbing season. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Okay, so Zoom is number 1, 7 million shares. Tesla 1 million, 8.9%. CRISPR Therapeutics, Roku. Where's Spotify? Spotify should be down below. Spotify's number 27, 726,000 shares she has left. Yeah, so a lot of the ARK stocks, I mean, they're rough today. Coinbase, she has 5.4 million shares of Coinbase. So Coinbase is at 5.4 million shares. Coinbase is down badly today. It's just 51. All right, let's get into another CNBC video. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see what they're talking about. And we'll keep going from there. Let's hear about some oil prices. All right, let's hear about this.
Do you think 525 or 550 is the high, Damien? I've seen, and it depends on where you are and what state you're in, but for the average, you think we're pushing up at some point in the next couple of months at what will be the terminal high?
So we think Brent prices have to go higher, another $20. When you look at the U.S. gasoline market, for example, it's actually remarkable that the last few weeks demand has surprised positively despite those high retail prices. I think it just underscores that the momentum on demand is actually still quite resilient, and that's why the market is still in balance, and it will take higher prices, in our view and forecasts, for the market to finally reach a balanced state.
Which will be, just give me a ballpark, you know, we won't hold you to it, but will we hit $6 average?
I mean, you know, mathematically it's now 10-15% higher, so that would leave us shy of $6, but still higher from here. I think the main risk you have to keep in mind is when you're at extremely low level of inventories like we are today in oil, the risk is that you gap to the upside. You know, remember 2008.
Darnton's in the chat. Shout out to you. He said, "What's up with YouTube? I can't upload anything." Yeah, I mean, that's the reason my morning live stream sucked today. Like for the first 5 minutes, it couldn't connect to Google's API from my streaming software. It's very weird. I don't know what's going on today. I think, like, you know that meme, Chicken Genius? Not Chicken Genius, Chicken Little, the sky's falling? Yeah, that's happening right now.
The 1970s, right? That's the main risk that we see is, you know, at some point, supply is just too low, and you really got to hit that point of demand destruction. So not our base case, but I think it's a risk you can't overlook for this summer.
And how do we gauge that? What determines whether, I guess I'm asking, what determines the elasticity with the American traveling public? Are they flush from stimulus? Have they already spent that? How's the savings rate? Do people want to go on vacation so badly that they're going to do whatever it takes, or will some people eventually say, no, I'm not going to?
This is an interesting question because it's like, if oil, and this is what I've been thinking about, right? If oil, like, if gas gets to $6 a gallon, I'm not leaving my house. It's just that simple. Like, so in July, there's some places I have to go for work and stuff like that. But outside of that, I'm not going anywhere. You know, sometimes I would like take a little trip just to like get a little coffee. I'm like, nope, forget the coffee, forget the $4 on the coffee, and forget the added $3.20 or whatever that I have to pay in gas to go get the coffee, because like, this is ridiculous. Like, so I think there will be a level of demand destruction if oil is that high. The question is how badly does that destroy demand?
Going to do this.
Yeah, so demand destruction is a gradual process, right? I think what's key is what you described heading into this summer is your net disposable income is still elevated, you know, albeit shrinking, but still sufficient to support demand. Furthermore, when you look at traveling and flying in particular, you know, either you bought your ticket a while back, or after several years of being unable to travel, you'll ramp up again. And importantly, you have to look at it on a global picture, right? The reopening is just now ramping up in Asia, and even China itself is reopening. So that's leading more support to oil demand on a global basis for this year. Now, in fact, you know, when you look at the global market, I think the signs of demand destruction are probably to be looked for elsewhere than in the U.S. initially, right? The strong dollar is really putting more pressure on fuel prices in Europe, in emerging markets. You know, that's where we're trying to find evidence. But again, so far, all we see is demand remaining above supply and inventories continuing to come down.
And so, I mean, that is technically good, right? If demand is above supply, well, no, that's not good. If inventories are coming down and demand is above supply, that means inflation, right? Or just like prices go up because supply can't keep up with demand. So there has to be a way for the government to figure out how to destroy demand in some capacity, which the easiest way to do it is cause a recession, which means aggressively raise interest rates. The problem is if the U.S. consumer is resilient enough, and consumer sentiment is going down as per the latest Michigan surveys, but if the U.S. consumers, U.S. consumer, I want to think about the international consumer, but we're talking about like a U.S. recession here. If the U.S. consumer is resilient enough against increased prices, and the wage markets are kind of allowing them to be to some extent because wages are going up even though purchasing power is going down with inflation, because the labor markets are tight and it's really expensive to hire talent, so you're going to pay them more money, then it leads into a very sticky issue, right? Which is that if you can't destroy demand, how do you get people to stop buying stuff? People are going to keep buying. Like, I just bought a new laptop yesterday for my dad, right? Because it's his birthday today. Shout out to my pops, man. Love that, man. Means the world to me. So it's his birthday. He's turning 62. He's probably getting mad I said the year 62. He's like, why are you happy I'm getting older? I'm like, bro, we all get older. All of us are inevitably going to get there. So for my dad, you know, I bought him a new laptop yesterday, and it costs like $450. Brand new i5 touchscreen Dell 15-inch. Now, granted, it was on sale for Father's Day, but like, I spent money yesterday, you know, and like I don't think that, like, in order for this to stop, people got to stop buying stuff because that's not good, right? Like right now, that's not good. You have to de-stimulate the economy, and the question is, how do we do that in a way that doesn't destroy jobs, the wages for regular people? I mean, it's a very sticky situation. So for all the crap we give Jerome Powell, it's a tough situation to be in. Bitcoin at 23,300, it's $300 away from going below. $300 away from going below. Gasoline in Germany run $8 per gallon since a few weeks. That's just insane, man. I actually think one thing I should do is buy a bike. I think that would be like getting a bike for $100. That's not the worst thing, because I can probably, like, there are a lot of places I can bike to. Now that I think it, like, a lot of places. It would be like another 10-15 minutes, but I could definitely bike to those places. So that may be something I look into. All right, guys, I think that's the morning stream. I know it's a tough market. I know everything's going rough. I hope everyone is okay. Try not to look at your portfolio too much. Try to just stay stable and do what you got to do. Personally, if you want what I'm doing, I'm not buying anything. And I haven't been buying anything for the past couple months because I just don't see the catalyst to buy stuff right now. DCAing is fine. I haven't been doing that as well because I have a limited amount of funds. And when I do deploy them, I want to deploy them at the right time. So yes, I guess I'm timing the market if you say that, or I'm just like being obvious that it's not probably the right time to buy. So those are my thoughts. It's rough right now. Bitcoin's rough. We'll continue to track it. I'll put a couple of videos out today kind of talking about what's going on with the crypto prices. But I mean, this is going to be very interesting to see over the next couple of days. If things end up being rough, then, you know, we're really going to see some craziness in the market. Thank you guys all for saying happy birthday to my dad. Really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. You are the cause of inflation. How dare you? Yep, I bought the laptop. Is content inflation proof? That is, well, good point from Darntons. Content, by the way, everyone check out his website, darntons.com. He talks a lot about innovation and like really, really unique stocks, obviously Palantir. Everyone go to his website and really check it out. He does a lot of amazing articles and he pumps them out like crazy. Content is inflation proof. So if anyone was interested in getting into the content marketing game, one of the tweets I put out yesterday is that big tech companies may have a harder time monetizing content, so like CPMs and CPCs and YouTube ad revenue. That might go down because the advertisers aren't paying as much, or like the monetization from the networks isn't as strong because of the lack of kind of demand. But the supply of content is going to be there because people will still be posting. Think about it. If people aren't going out to vacations, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be at home, just like COVID, right? What are they going to be doing? They're going to be on the internet. And if they're on the internet, they're going to be watching content. So YouTube should thrive in a recession, theoretically, just like it did in March 2020. The question is, are advertisers going to be willing to still get their audiences if people aren't going out and like buying stuff as much as anymore? That's why it might not be as strong. But in terms of the content supply, user-generated content on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, it's not going away. In fact, I believe it's going to get insanely more exponential with everyone wanting to give their thoughts about some of the stuff that's going on, just like it happened in the pandemic. Everyone had an opinion on what was going on. So I think content is inflation proof. If you guys do want to start getting into making content, I mean, I think this would be the right time to do it. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:20 a.m. Eastern. I'll put out some more videos today. And yeah, we will all get through this together. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow.